Hello everyone, welcome back to All PC Geek. Today I'm going to show you step-by-step how to install Flutter in Android Studio on your Windows computer. If you're new to Flutter or just starting app development, the easy way. Let's get started. First, make sure your PC is connected to the internet. Open Google Chrome or any browser you like. In the search bar, type Flutter download, then press enter. Click the first link. That's the official Flutter website. Once it loads, you'll see options for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. We'll be using Windows for this tutorial, but before we install Flutter, there's one more tool we need to set up first. Install JDK 11. Flutter requires JDK 11, the Java development kit. This allows Android Studio and Flutter to build and run apps properly. Open a new browser tab and type JDK 11 download. Again, click the first result. It should be the Oracle JDK official page. Scroll down to find the Windows installer, then click to download. You might need to sign in or create an Oracle account. Go ahead and do that. Once the file finishes downloading, open your Downloads folder, find the installer, and double-click it. Follow the on-screen steps. Just click Next a few times and let it install. When you're done, close the setup window. Perfect. Your Java development kit is ready to go. Step 3, download Flutter. Now, let's get back to Flutter. If you closed the page earlier, no problem. Search again for Download Flutter for Windows and open the first link. On this page, you'll see the installation details and system requirements. Scroll down until you find the Windows Stable Release ZIP file and click to download. This file is pretty large, so depending on your internet speed, it might take a while. Just relax and let it finish. When it's done, open your Downloads folder. You'll see the zip file called something like Flutter Windows Stable. Before you extract it, go to Local Disk C. Create a new folder named Flutter. Open that folder, and inside it, create another folder called SRC. Now, go back to your ZIP file, right-click, choose Extract All, and extract the contents inside C:/Flutter SRC. After extraction, open that folder step by step. Flutter, then src, then Flutter, and finally bin. That bin folder contains all of Flutter's main command tools. Now let's make sure Flutter is installed correctly. While you're inside the bin folder, click on the address bar at the top. Type cmd, then press enter. That opens the command prompt right there. Now say this command aloud as you type it. Flutter Doctor, then press enter. Flutter will check your system and show a quick report. If you hear the message, "Welcome to Flutter," the tool is ready to use. Congratulations. You did it. If you see any warnings about missing tools like Android Studio or device drivers, don't worry. That's normal for first-time setup. Let's dive straight in. The next thing we're going to do is install Android Studio, which is the main development environment we'll be using to write, test, and run our Flutter apps. Android Studio also includes tools like the Android SDK, emulators, and other components that Flutter needs to build Android apps. So let's go step by step. Go ahead and open your Google Chrome browser or any browser you prefer. In the search bar, type "Install Android Studio" and hit Enter. You'll see a bunch of results, but click on the very first one that says Android Studio Official Site. That's the one we want. It's the official download page directly from Google. Once the page loads, scroll down a little bit until you see the big green download button. Click on that. You'll be asked to agree to the terms and conditions. Go ahead and check the box to accept the agreement, then click the download button again. The download should start right away. Depending on your internet speed, this might take a few minutes because the Android Studio installer is quite large. So just sit back and wait for it to finish. When the download is complete, open your Downloads folder and look for the Android Studio setup file. It'll have a name like Android Studio Setup.exe. Right-click on it and choose Run as Administrator. Doing this makes sure the installation has permission to configure everything properly. Once the setup window opens, click Next to continue. Now, you'll see a few options during the installation. You'll notice one that says Android Virtual Device. You can uncheck that for now to speed things up because we'll configure emulators later on. Click Next a few times and then click Install. The installer will start copying files and setting up Android Studio on your system. This step may take a little while, so let it finish. When it's done, you'll see a completion window. Click Next, then Finish. Android Studio should launch automatically after installation. On the very first startup, you'll get a pop-up asking whether to share data with Google. Just click Don't Send. Then you'll be asked to select the setup type. Choose Standard and click Next. Keep the default settings and click Next again. You'll be shown the license agreements. Go ahead and accept them all, then click Next one more time. Now, Android Studio will start downloading the Android SDK components and other required files. This part can take some time depending on your connection, so be patient. These SDK components are really important. They allow Flutter to compile and run Android apps. Once the downloads are finished, Android Studio will let you know everything is installed successfully. Awesome! Now we're ready to check if Flutter detects Android Studio properly. To do that, press the Windows key on your keyboard and type CMD or Command Prompt, then open it. Inside the command prompt, type the command Flutter Doctor and press Enter. Flutter will now scan your system and tell you what's installed and what's missing. If you get an error that says Flutter isn't recognized as a command, that's totally fine. It just means the Flutter path hasn't been added to your system environment variables yet. Let's fix that right now. Open your File Explorer and go to where you extracted Flutter earlier. Usually it's in local disk C, inside a folder named Flutter, then src, then Flutter, and then the bin folder. Once you're inside that bin folder, click on the address bar at the top and copy the full path. Next, press the Windows key again and search for Edit System Environment Variables. Click on it when it appears. In the System Properties window, click the Environment Variables button near the bottom. Under the System Variables section, find the one named Path, then click Edit. In the Edit Path window, click New, then paste the Flutter bin path that you copied earlier. After that, click OK on every window to save and close them. Alright, we've successfully added Flutter to the system path. Now let's check it again. Open Command Prompt one more time. Type Flutter Doctor and press Enter. This time, you should see Flutter running and detecting Android Studio. If it says Android Studio is installed, but the SDK isn't configured yet, that's okay. We're about to fix that next. Go ahead and open Android Studio again. On the welcome screen at the bottom, click on More Actions. Then choose SDK Manager. When the SDK Manager window opens, go to the SDK Tools tab. Scroll through the list until you find Android SDK Command Line Tools. Check the box next to it, then click Apply. You'll be asked to confirm the download. Click OK. Android Studio will start downloading and installing these tools. They're important because Flutter uses them to build and manage Android projects behind the scenes. This process might take a few minutes depending on your internet connection, so just let it run. Once the installation is complete, click OK to close the window. Now go back to your command prompt and type Flutter Doctor again. Press Enter. You'll notice that Flutter now detects the Android SDK, which means that part of the setup is complete. There's one more small but important step: accepting the Android licenses. Without this step, Flutter can't build Android apps properly. So, in the command prompt, type Flutter Doctor-Android licenses and press Enter. You'll see a bunch of license agreements appear one by one. Each time it asks, type Y and press Enter to accept. Keep doing that until you've accepted all the licenses. Once that's done, type Flutter Doctor one last time. Now everything should look green. Flutter, Android Studio, and the SDK are all installed and configured correctly. You might still see a warning about connected devices, but that's normal since we haven't set up an emulator yet. Alright guys, now that Flutter and Android Studio are both working perfectly, let's install the Flutter plugin inside Android Studio so we can actually start coding. Open Android Studio again, and from the main screen, click on Plugins. In the search bar, type Flutter. You'll see the Flutter plugin show up in the results. Click the Install button next to it. Android Studio will automatically prompt you to install the Dart plugin too. Make sure you accept that because Dart is the main language Flutter uses. Once both plugins are installed, restart Android Studio. After the restart, you'll see something new on the welcome screen: the option to create new Flutter project. That means everything is set up perfectly. Flutter and Android Studio are now fully integrated. You can click on that option, choose Flutter Application, and start your first project right away. You'll see it automatically detects your Flutter SDK path, and you can start writing your first Flutter app in seconds. Let's quickly go over what we've done today. We started by downloading and installing Android Studio. Then we added Flutter to the environment path, installed the SDK tools, accepted the licenses, and installed the Flutter and Dart plugins inside Android Studio. Every single part of this setup is now complete. From here, you can run your first Flutter command, create a project, or even connect your phone to test your app directly. In future videos, I'll show you how to set up an Android emulator and how to run your Flutter app on both emulator and real devices. If you made it this far, congratulations! You now have everything ready to build Flutter apps on your Windows computer. And if this video helped you out, make sure to hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Subscribe to All PC Geek for more tutorials like this, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming guides. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, where we'll dive into setting up your first Flutter project and running it on an emulator. Take care, and happy coding!